Hey everyone, welcome back.
Welcome back to the show. We're here.
We're
It's been a
back.
while.
Back from spring break.
Yeah, more of an extended spring break
Yes.
indeed. Did Chris and I kind of bottom out a little bit? Did we kind of crash out a little bit? Yeah, we did. More so me. I think we took turns. Um,
Yeah. Life lifed. Life was lifing. A lot of things that came up. Just I don't know. I mean, I feel like you were experiencing like burnout and like
yeah.
not having a life because you have a full-time job. You are writing a book. You also have a business. You are doing this podcast, editing, and we need to have time to read to be able to do this podcast. And
Yeah.
so we just like, what is the saying? We bit off more than we could chew.
Yeah.
Is that the
That's the
right
saying.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for me, I've just been like a moody Pisces, I guess. So
Moody Pisces. Well, you know what? I think the ending of Onyx Storm really attributed to the crash out.
I agree. I agree. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, it literally was the beginning of our, like you said, crash out. Like, it was
That's
somehow it
that
started it.
was the straw that broke the camel's back, in my opinion, was the
Yeah.
ending. Because that was when the crash out really began, I think, was like us like rushing to finish Onyx Storm, and then it was the ending, and we're like, and then it was crash out. And then we tried to
Yeah.
record, and it was like, and I'm like, and it was the straw that broke the camel's back. So
Right. Yeah.
Rebecca, I'm looking at
Yeah,
you.
Rebecca, please. So this is what, like 6 weeks later, 7 weeks later,
Yeah.
after our so story time, real quick. We finished Onyx Storm
Mhm.
and then was so, like, overwhelmed with, like, how are we gonna talk about this? And so we postponed recording because we're like, "Well, we need to keep ahead, but also, like, how are we gonna talk about this?" And, like, even the thought of putting notes together itself was such a daunting task. So we're like, "Oh, thank God," like, it gives us a week. And, like, in that process too of the week, we were like, "Okay, like, let's also evaluate how we wanna talk about things on the podcast." This being, like, our little book podcasts and, like, do we need to have the formula that everyone out there is doing? Like, there's so many book podcasts. So we were, like, reevaluating all that. We ended up recording, and not to be dramatic, but it was a disaster. So this is
No, but like
step 2.
it was. And that was the first time I think we both hopped off and we were like, that was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. Also, it was bad and we were recording for 2.5 hours, you guys. It was a 2.5 hour long episode. I, I think we got literally like an hour in and we were like, out of our entire outline, we were like this far and we were like, and I think we both were like, "Oh no."
I know. Like,
Oh no.
we are a quarter into the book. It's been an hour and a half. There's still so much to talk about, and I was like, "I don't know what to do."
Yeah, it was rough. It was
So
rough.
we're here again, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think the space I think, like, I'm really happy we took the space, and that
Yeah.
we, like, also read other things. Because I think, like, I think when things get too much, because kind of like what Chris said in the beginning, especially after I'm like, "Oh my god, I have to edit a 2.5 hour fucking episode." I'm like, "Do I break this up in 2 parts?" We were, like, talking back and forth, we were like, "No." So, we were like, "Okay, I think we have to do this over again," because a part of our spring break was to really, as Chris said, dive into, like, how we want to talk about our books, right? And how we want to show up. Because originally, our first few episodes were more so like recaps and reviews, right? Recapping the plot and everything that happened. And we were like, I don't know if we want to like necessarily like be the girls that are like, you know, really putting a thesis together is how it feels like. Like we're outlining and referencing page numbers and going, especially with fantasy, going back to book 1 and book 2 and like, and it's like we just want this to feel more fun and like really talk about just like the energy of the book, things that stuck out to us and not necessarily go into like deep plot points. But then lo and behold, that's exactly what we fucking did. And we're like, oh, okay. So with more time separated and like so many like new life things, I'm so excited our next episode. Both Chris and I went to go see Christina Lauren on
Mhm.
our opposite coasts. And so it's actually really cute. I can't wait to talk about that. But like, yeah, we read some contemporary romance. We're in our Western era right now. We're reading some Elsie Silver. And let me tell you, I finally started reading again, Chris, today. And
Oh, did
they
you?
be fucking. I'm literally they be fucking. The first quarter of the book, I'm like, wow, this is like the plot is plotting. Like it's good, like for them be fucking, right? But
Right.
like, damn, like now it's like I'm like I'm like it's like we're going on chapter 3 of I'm like, wow, you know?
Wow. We have extra chili
It's
peppers.
really refreshing. It's really refreshing, especially with like when we did have Onyx Storm and like fantasy when it's like when they finally do, it's like it was just like so tumultuous to finally get there. And then you're like, oh my God, are they gonna do it again? Like usually like in fantasy, like the fucking is few and far in between because they're like at war. Or like things are happening. So
Right.
feels good. We're reading Elsie Silver. It's really fun. And now I feel like we get to sit down and talk about Onyx Storm. And it just feels so much better.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. It does feel better. So this is kinda gonna be like, I don't know if you finished a book and you're just, like, talking to your girlfriends about, the book and your reactions, like, what stuck out to you, like, what was your, like, "Oh my gosh" moments, Actually, we don't even have, like, an outline or any kind of guide, like, guiding this. We're just gonna have fun talking about the book 6 weeks later or whatever. And yeah, I'm excited to dive in, and I'm excited to be able to talk to you, my best friend, about Onyx Storm in like the way we love to just like chat as besties about our books, Because I think that was a dynamic too that felt like it was missing is
Totally.
in like past, I mean, in some recordings, but just that like dynamic of just like a more like relaxed, like having fun rather than being
Yeah,
like,
casual. Like,
yeah, casual.
we're not following an outline, we're not worrying about if we're missing anything. Because I think the great thing about Onyx Storm is that things actually happened. So much happened that it's like then when we went to go talk about it, it's like, "Holy fucking shit, like, how in the world are we gonna talk about this?" Compared to, like, no offense to the people that loved Iron Flame, but, like, things happen in Iron Flame, but, like, not as much as Onyx Storm. And then 2, this was our first time, like, recapping, like, a series where it's like, oh, we can be referencing Rebecca does such a great job, like, weaving elements of
Mhm.
all of these, like, from book 1 to book 3, like, there's just so much that we could reference. On Polo, it's just so easy for us to just, like, riff back and forth and have it be super casual and fun, and I think because this is such a fandom, we don't wanna fuck it up, obviously, because, like, there are some, like, diehard fucking fourth wing girlies, which I respect, obviously. So, we just wanted to do it right, and I think an effort to doing it right, we didn't do it right for us. And then so I think this time, like, how we're moving forward with just our yeah, just, like, chatting about it, I think will be really and just off the cuff is gonna be perfect.
Yeah, I think that was perfectly said.
Mm. Let's dive in. So, Chris, why don't you give me because this is finally the also I'm dying because in the last episode that we recorded, it was when I just got the bangs and now these are really grown out. I'm about to get them cut again, but at the end of the episode, I was like, "You know what? I don't think I touched them and like play with them as much as I thought I was going to." And like, let me tell you, I 100% did. I'm like, "Girl, shut the fuck up." I'm like, "Girl, shut up." You 1,000% did. Yeah, we're still moving through the bangs. I'm gonna try not to touch them as deeply, but anyway, Chris, this is the first book finally of the series that now is a new read for the both of us. I
Yeah,
was new reading along with it. Now Onyx Storm was a new read for you. Why don't we start off with your thoughts and your
yeah.
feelings and just initial reaction thoughts and reactions to it?
I really, really loved Onyx Storm. I think the fact that it was new for me was special in, like, making it even more exciting. I'm not typically a rereader. I loved my Fourth Wing reread. My Iron Flame reread was harder than the first time I read it. But Onyx Storm really, to me, was exciting and new and, like, gave me that feeling of, like, fangirling, essentially. And a lot of people it seems to be, like, mixed reviews about Onyx Storm, which I think is really interesting. One, people call it a filler book, and I don't understand that from the bottom of my soul because I think so much happened in Onyx Storm. Like, it kept moving, like, the pace was just phenomenal, and not only that, I think that every single thing that happened is important.
Mhm.
There's no time in the world to be able to talk about all of that, but I just don't see anything that she I think every single detail, every place they went, every gift they received, every mention, I think is really setting up for more books, and I am really curious to know how many books Rebecca is going to end up writing because I feel like the way Onyx Storm is, it seems like this could go on for quite a few books.
I think it's
Um,
supposed to be a 5-book series.
5, okay.
Yeah. I think it
So
originally
that'll
started as a trilogy,
okay,
and then they were like, "No, add
yeah,
more." So I think it's
y
supposed to be 5 is
okay.
what
Yeah,
I read.
so, I mean, I it was a five-star read for me. Um, I think it's my favorite of the 3 personally. That could, again, be have to do with the fact that it was new, which was refreshing, but, like,
Mhm.
I loved it. What about you?
Yeah. I this was also a 5-star read for me. I don't know if I love it more than Fourth Wing. I think because Fourth Wing for me, like, I was feral. Like,
Mhm.
to me, like, I think, like, I was feral, like, I couldn't put it down, I was thinking about it, and also there was just something so, I think, intriguing about Fourth Wing and, like, you just didn't know if Violet was gonna, like I feel like every single day Violet was gonna die, you know what I mean? And obviously her thing was
Yeah.
like, "I'm not gonna die." But Onyx Storm for me, I also don't understand how people say that it's a filler book. Out of all of the books, Onyx Storm to me is a reread. Like, I'm like,
Mhm.
I feel like because, as you said, Rebecca, I think, just did a fantastic job of making literally every word that's what they say for authors, like, does every word matter? Is every word leading towards something, counting towards something? The answer, at least for this book, was yes. Like, everything that happened, every gift, every location, every interaction was so important, and I feel like the characters really just came into themselves. Like, I loved Violet in this book. I feel like Violet really, like, became, like, that fucking girl. Like, she was a little insecure. Like, obviously, she was, like, hella, like, weak, didn't know what the fuck was going on in book 1. Book 2, she started to, like, gain her strength, but there was still just, like, a little, like, insecurity, obviously, with all the cat stuff and, like, where her and Xaden stood. They fought all the fucking time, you know what I mean? But then book 3, obviously, it was very much, like, they're together, and now there's this whole new mission of, like, I need to save my man, and, like, then Andarna and all of that too, and, like, she was leading her own, like, missions and, like, standing up for herself, standing up to her ex, which was fucking nuts,
Yeah.
like, meanwhile, like, I find it so funny, I'm like, "Ugh," like, you were into, like, you were, like, together with Halden, but, like, Aaric Eric.
Yeah.
Will I get it right? But that's how I said it at the whole book. Why did I do that though? Like, I don't know, but
It's
that's in
fantasy.
my brain how that read to me. Anyway, Eric was standing like right there. I mean, I know he's younger, so whatever. But anyway, I just like I loved reading about Violet in this book. And I really loved like the emotional journey that we went on, especially when it came to her denial. Like it was one of the first things I noticed, and I loved reading along with it as a reader because it really like because even I was getting like tripped up. I'm like, oh, like Zayden is really fucking passionate. Like, is it because like obviously he, Zayden is Zayden, he's an Aries, or is it the venom of it all, right? And like and he's becoming more and more venom, and I loved seeing Violet's journey of like being in denial, then like being snapped back into reality when he like accidentally channels or like something like that, and then or like getting another answer that we don't want to hear, that there is no cure. We heard it like 5,000 fucking times. I'm like, no, no, we'll find something. We'll find something. And then yeah, and then the end hit me. The end just spun me out, and it really did. It was the catalyst of my ultimate crash out in general, because I feel like we could have a whole episode talking about the ending and like how fucking crazy it was. But Onyx Storm was I thought was great. Like it was such a great read. The pace was there, and like to me, like if any book was going to be a filler book, it would be Onyx. It would be Iron Flame for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I really love you talking about Violet's denial and then also like the denial as the reader, because that was the experience, at least for me, constantly being like, is Venom bad? Really? Like in Iron Flame, we like learn all of this information about how like the good guys, like, are they actually, and like deleting history and all this stuff. And so just being in this book the whole time being like, is Venom, like, of course we have Jack Barlow, but he's like saying it's freedom. He's saying the dragons are the enemy. And like, it's just like the whole time, like you said, it's like, is being Venom bad? Are the dragons actually bad? Is this war college actually bad? And like, just like, cause you just so badly want this thing to work with Zayden. And like, you're right. It's like the whole book. It's like, there is no cure. There is no cure. And you're like, but is Adarna the cure? Is the Irids the cure? Like, you're still trying to. And so, yeah, I think Rebecca did a great job in like having you experience Xaden like Violet does, and then also, like, giving you these snippets of, but then you have, was it Riddick who, like, slapped her in the face essentially?
Yes, and
And
I
then
loved that part so
yeah,
much. Because truly,
yeah,
I mean, 1, Riddick was 10 out of 10 in this book.
yeah,
We needed a new
totally.
Liam and, like a new beloved character, a side character, and Riddick really became that. But truly, I mean, he was the only one that I think really, especially because Violet wasn't telling anyone, obviously, for obvious reasons. I do agree that, like, I wouldn't be telling anyone anything about Xaden being Venom ever, because that's how I would be as well, because people, we're actively killing Venom all the fucking time. So, yeah, I find it to be really interesting that like Riddick was the one that stepped up and we had that moment, because I feel like it was really great to show like not only to put into perspective like, no, you are in denial a little bit. Like we just heard that there's no cure and this isn't the first time you heard that, number 1. 2, like we like it helps push her to like what her boundary is, because I don't like no one else really was having that. Like they were mentioning like, hey, you shouldn't sleep together anymore, hey, like, and he was like pretty broody like the majority of the time anyway. Like I remember even writing down, I'm like, if my boyfriend was literally like in the same building as me and he's not even allowing me to talk mind to mind, but he's not even physically with me, like div- divorce, like like I'd be freaking the fuck out. So
Yeah.
I just thought it was a beautiful moment, and even, like, for the reader too, it's like, okay, like, what is the line? Because we were like, okay, like, is it that bad? Is it not? Can he reverse it? Can he just channel back down into the earth? You found out that no, you can't do that. I did like that Rebecca asked that. I'm like, okay, like, can't we just like give the magic back? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be like this crazy, but I really loved his character in that because it really was like, no, I'm Violet first. So like, what is it going to be? And
Mhm.
where is the end point? Because there wasn't really one, honestly.
Yeah.
So, okay, what were your favorite parts of it? Like, what stuck out to you? How are we feeling? You
I
know?
think I think one thing I would say is I really liked going to the aisles, especially after Iron Flame. Like, I just feel like the whole like war, college, Erasia, Tyrandor, like, it just had this, like, very, like, dreary and grim tone, so to go somewhere completely different, where, like, even in your imagination for a little bit, you can, like, picture, like, water and blue and, like, sparkly dragons that, that are a part of, like, Adarna's kind, I really appreciated being able to leave, but then each island had, like, a really interesting little story or plot line. Um, and then I would also say that look, the ending is really, like, gut-wrenching and kind of drove me crazy in, like, the way that it actually ended in terms of being like, "What the heck just happened?" And, like, we don't know what's going on, and, like, neither does Violet, that's cool. But it was just, like, really kind of fun to be in, like, that, like, little bit of, like, a clowning conspiracy, like, wondering what's gonna happen next thing. I both loved the cliffhanger, and it also, like, hurt my soul. It was, like, a weird, like, duality, for me, because I think this is the first time, like, for us, for fantasy, that we actually, like, are in real time now caught up and have to deal with, like, a cliffhanger until the next one. We thankfully, didn't have to worry about that, but I don't know, there's, like, an excitement in that, even if it, like, stresses me out too.
No, 100%. And I thought the aisle, because it was really nice to get a change of scenery with the aisles, and, like, we learned so much. Like, we
Yeah.
met Zayden's mom, like, that wasn't on my bingo card, like,
No.
so much happened. Obviously, of course, Kat's new boyfriend fucking died. I was like, the
Yeah,
girl's happy for, like, what, a week?
I
Like,
know.
we didn't have to do that, but
Betrayal.
whatever, we did. And it wound up, like, obviously leading us to the dragons and that we were looking for, and so, like, it was really cool because also I love, like, the humor in this. Like, I feel like I laughed out loud a lot more in this book than I have in the previous ones, where it was like, "Oh, like, is Basgiath, like, a really bleak and miserable place?" And it's like, "Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it is." So it was just, like, really great to obviously have that change of scenery, and then, like, obviously, like, again, so much happens. I would say, like, that was a great part for me. I really loved the dynamic between, like, the Violet, um, Halden, Xaden. I loved jealous Xaden. I loved Professor
Mhm.
Xaden, even though he was a professor for, like,
2
oh,
weeks.
yeah, literally. Like, he was president, he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go on Quest Squad, so, um, you know, I'm not gonna do that." So, that was really interesting, and then, of course, to me, I think we got the best spice scene I think we've had.
Yes. Oh
We
my
had the
gosh,
best
alright,
spice scene.
let us talk about that.
We had the best spice scene. Did I have to reread it? Like, the embarrassing part for me is when it comes to spice, I actually have a hard time, like, I am trying really hard to picture, like, where everyone is. So, like,
Don't worry
the
about that.
chair,
Same.
so, like, everything about it was hot, obviously, everything, but, like, I'm trying to picture where I'm like, is her is she sitting in the chair? Is he on the chair? Is she her back against the chair? I couldn't figure out where the fuck she was in terms of like what was happening. However, I feel like what made this spice scene the best was because of this whole like venom, like because every time I guess the last time they tried to be a little spicy, he wound up channeling because they lose control with each other. And so it
Right.
was just like dangerous. And it was like, he's like, had like her hands and he gave him like a knife. And it was just like, it was just great. Like, it was great. It was
Yeah.
great. It was great.
It was, like, the danger of it and, like, the suspense because like you said, he channeled that one time, but also there's been, like, all these, like, warnings of, like, "I can't be near you, and we can't, like, sleep in the same bed," and, like, all this stuff, and so, like,
Yeah.
then it's like, "Oh, like, let's embrace this," and not only embrace it, like, let's play with this idea a little bit. And, like, I was like, "Ooh, ooh," like, "Ooh," and, yeah, I mean, I don't have wine tonight, otherwise I might do a little demonstration here in my chair. I got it. I happen to get it. I read it multiple times, and I was like, "You know what? The throne, the chair, like, this is a thing for them. It's
That
okay."
is a thing for them. And you know what? Love it. Love it. I love it for them. I really, really do. So, yeah, it was to me, especially because, yes, my chair, my house, my woman was obviously like a very iconic line in Iron Flame. But just like you said, like, like they go right back to fighting after. And like, so it was like,
Right.
it was such an interesting, like, she was really insecure. He does this, then they go back to fighting. And like, for me, at least as the reader during Iron Flame, it was like, I know they're supposed to like love each other deeply, but they're low key fighting the whole time. It was a hot scene, obviously, but like, there was like that question, like, are they like, we were feeling more of like the lust and not like the undeniable, like, yearning love. Because I feel like we felt that also in Fourth Wing. Like,
Yeah.
I felt that in Fourth Wing, and then Iron Flame, things kind of got a little crazy. But Onyx Storm, I started to feel that again. But then, of course, like I'm like, oh my god, is it the venom of it all? Of course, like when when he becomes professor, she's like, oh, we're broken up. Like, not even a conversation. It
I
was like,
know.
oh, we're broken up. I'm like, girl, you take a knee that easy? You're gonna give up your man
Yeah.
that easy? Like, what the fuck?
That
That was
was really
crazy.
annoying.
It was crazy to me. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, that's wild. So, but I loved that scene a lot. I
And everything
truly
was
I
okay.
Yeah, and that was the best part. He didn't channel. Like, they were able to, like, completely, like, I feel like that was the first time I felt like the lust and love, like, really come together and, like, be, like, a really beautiful moment, with the 2 of them, like, both, like, releasing control while he's still, like, struggling with, like, not wanting to channel and become like more venom than he is right now, because I guess there's stages. This is why like I probably should reread Onyx Storm at some point. We'll get to that
Mhm.
part. Maybe when we finally have a announcement and right before we go
Yeah.
to reread the new one, I think I would reread Onyx Storm again because so much does happen, especially of course with the ending. Um I feel like we have to spend probably the majority of this talking about the ending, because I saw this really funny, I literally don't know what happened. I think maybe because when I was chatting with you on the phone, we started talking about like, okay, like let's record our Onyx Storm episode. My entire algorithm became Onyx Storm reels.
Oh, dang.
And it was really funny because it was like, what us as the readers expected at Violet and Zayden's wedding. And it was like a really cute, like I forget, it was like a Pixar animated, like everyone's like there and it's like really cute and it's like the
Yes.
wedding. And then it's like reality. And it was like the scene from The Hangover where like they're all waking up and like no one knows what the fuck is going on. And I thought it was so good. I'm like, that's exactly what happened. And now I'm seeing all this fan art of like Violet and Xaden like at the wedding that we didn't get to see, and like her being like Harper and him like being hella venom. It's just like I agree. The ending of this, because even with Sarah J. Maas, for example, Yes, the ending of Empire of Storms, like, hurts you deeply, but we were able to continue on.
Yeah.
Crescent City, we're up it's not a finished series, but, like, at the end of the most recent Crescent City, what was it? House of Flame and Shadow, it low key kinda reads like a trilogy, like, I feel like it ends pretty well, like, I feel good waiting for the next book to come out. The ending of this, it's like we've been shot 57 times. Like, I truly it was it was horrible. Why don't you
Yeah.
start? Because I will just be
Well,
sad.
now that you're talking about it too, the fact that so at the end, obviously, so Imogen, however you wanna say it, essentially, like, wipes away Violet's memory, because she asks her to. I'm just wondering, like, all of a sudden, like, I'm very nervous, like, the next book, are we gonna go immediately starting the book with finding out what happened, or are we gonna spend time through Violet's POV not knowing what happened? Like, how
Dude,
much as the reader are we gonna know what happened in those final scenes? And, like, how quickly is, like, Rebecca gonna give that to us? Or are we gonna, like, be in, like, just oblivion, like, like Violet? I hope not. But
I hope not too, but I have a feeling low key, I think we're spending a good chunk of time trying to figure out what the fuck happened, I think.
Yeah,
I think. Unless she starts with, like, dream walk and, like, dream walks into fucking Imogen's fucking dream and be like, "Bitch, tell me what the fuck just
that's
happened."
true. Yeah, I mean, and I'm assuming in the next book, the dream walking thing is gonna be, like, very 'cause it almost sounds like it might extend past dreams too. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's like mind walk, like, I don't know. I
mind
also think it's
walking,
more than dreams.
which I don't, like, wanna go too crazy, but weirdly, one thing that I have been thinking about a lot since the ending of Onyx Storm, because we love Liam so much, that scene in Iron Flame where she's being
Mm.
tortured and Liam appears and, like, talks to her, I'm really curious to know if, like, her dream walking, mind walking ability, like, actually ushered Liam there, or if there's something because this book had so much mention of, like, the gods and stuff, like, if there's, like, a afterlife walking into, but, like, also
Totally.
I have a we have other books, I think, that kind of can make us that we have experience with that make us clown that way. So,
Mhm. Mhm, mhm, mhm.
they will remain nameless. Um But yeah, I think, like, between that and just being like, "What the hell? Like, this is how we're gonna end," but also, like, just, like, other big questions, like, we found out a lot about, like, Imogen in general of, like, she has more signets and, like, now she also, like, might, like she, like, loves Riddick.
No,
Um,
Garrick.
Garrick. Garrick. Um, we have, like, a new Venom brother. That is, like, a big question, that honestly we could talk about for hours about who that could be. There's just she left us, like, only questions, like and I
Yeah.
feel like the whole book was, like, building towards like, these, like, questionable moments. Um, so I don't know if anything got tied up.
Um, the only thing that we did get tied up is that Andarna did find her family and then fucking bounced and then came back. So, would love to know the story there. Then we found out Violet's second signet, which is the whole dream walking thing. But she was still dream walking while Andarna wasn't, like, broke the bond. So I'm still a little confused about what the fuck's happening there. Yeah, then we find out, in the aisles they have all this silver hair people. Violet doesn't ask a single fucking question. So, like,
Yeah.
that's fucking weird. And then all of a sudden we wake up, we're 12 hours have passed, and Zayden is full venin. Someone else is full venin, and we don't know who it is, but it's someone that's been close enough to Zayden to know what he's been going through. I have a I think we both differ in our opinions, but it's either Bodhi or Garrick. I would love for you to argue for Garrick. I think it's Bodhi. Um, and yeah, then Andarna's back. Andarna's back now. Taryn's sleeping, and she's like, "Oh, I won't let them burn you. Burn who? Burn what? Was
Mhm.
Zayden there in the shadows? She saw a shadow shift. Was he there? Don't come looking for me. It's yours. They're married now. She's the Duchess. I mean, he's been, of course, been joking about her becoming the Duchess forever. Oh, and we have Eric, who also bounced. But turns
Right.
out that he is like a prophecy. He can like see into the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, the question is, I don't know what the fuck is going on in Garrick. So Garrick, Bodhi, Eric are missing. Zayden,
Mhm.
obviously.
Mhm.
Um, Brennan is also acting sus. I don't know why he's sus to me, but he is. Mira's thank God she's alive, because we didn't think that was gonna happen for a minute. But I can't help but think of her dad's letter being like, "Only trust Mira." And now I'm
Mhm.
like, but maybe is it? Did he just say that because Brendan was supposed to be dead? But we need to like, why did they get married? The only thing I can think of is why they got married is because Bodhi channeled. We saw him on the ground, like hands on the earth. We thought he was throwing up. But there's reasons for Garrick too, but like for me, Bodhi was such an interesting character in this book because it was brought up multiple times. Like, oh, like why isn't anyone thinking of Bodhi as a weapon? He's here. Oh, it's nice to be needed. Like yada yada. He said multiple times he doesn't want to, and I thought he was saying he doesn't want it because if like Zayden was talking about him having like being the Duke of Tyrandor because like of him becoming like full venom. He's like, well, I don't want it. Like, you just have to like
Yeah.
get your shit together. But now it's like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. I don't know if it was like it was just a moment of weakness. And because his signet wasn't countering the way that he wanted to, he was just like, fuck it. I don't know. And like, why was everything so bad? That memory had to be erased.
I
You
know.
know?
And that's why I wonder, I'm like, is it was so bad or like we can't like I mean, I don't think Dane is like the reason, but like is there some like we just need to protect again like what the truth is?
I know. I don't know. Like, cause I feel like is Dane has had his redemption arc, in my opinion, and like is very much. I know they kind of question, like, I think we were what in Emojan's POV, we were like, oh, like Dane's all right. Oh, because we found out Emojan's second signet, and Dane's like, you're gonna have to talk to me about that, and she's like, we're gonna trust him enough for now, and like I always
Mhm.
thought that once Dane. When he found out the truth and bounced, like to me, that was like a good enough, like, oh, he was just, you know, a young kid blindly following his dad. Like, I can understand that. Like, but once he saw the truth, we're on the side of like justice. So, yeah, I can understand. But then also, like, if Dane, like, Violet, there was a whole thing in Iron Flame to have Violet's like shit to be enough, like her shields to be enough. So if Dane was to tap into her memories, she wouldn't sacrifice the other thing. Which means to me, if we're they could have erased memories before, but they didn't. So to me, like it either must be really bad or like I don't know. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it kills me.
and
It kills me.
I don't know why I thought of this either. I'm just thinking about how back in Iron Flame when she was, like, lying and, like, not telling people what was going on because she wanted to protect them, like, Rhiannon was one of those people, and I am really curious why Rhiannon had a POV at the end.
Yeah.
That's just, like, a big question mark to me, and I don't know if it's, like a protecting information that so, like, she can't tell anybody or, like yeah, I don't know, or if it's, like, to protect Violet, um, yeah, it could really be anything, but back to who's the new, like, full Venom, I definitely see Bodhi being a contender. I think for me, I'm leaning towards Garrick only because of a few things that were mentioned. One is in, those last scenes, there's a point where Violet says that, like, notices, like, the Venom are, like, disappearing and stuff, and then she notices Garrick just disappear, and then or it says, "The Venom, like, are disappearing like Garrick," and I was like, "That's weird that they like, Rebecca just, like, did that," and then when we were in Imogen's point of view, it was just, like, mentioned, like, how tired he looked and, like, his appearance and his eyes
Mhm.
and stuff like that, and so then I thought that was weird, and because he's, like, close and he knows what's going on, because it does have to be somebody that knows that Xaden is Venom. Those are just my
Mhm.
thoughts about
Well,
Garrick.
even too, what I was thinking right now as well, because the dragon eggs are missing too. And I'm like, maybe he's not Venom, but like maybe he's the one that orchestrated the dragon eggs of it all. Cause like like who else besides this group knew that that one aisle was asking for fucking eggs? Obviously, everyone
Yeah,
was like, no. But also, why do they like? Why does an aisle that has no magic want like dragon eggs? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me, especially when it was brought up multiple times. Like, what if we just like live here and you don't have to worry about channeling magic? And it was Xaden that I think said like, "Oh, they don't like it here, like, the dragons are suffering," but,
yeah,
like,
but,
they
like
won't say that, and that
but
that part was weird to me too. So, like, why does this place want eggs if, like, the dragons don't wanna be here? Or there's no
yeah,
magic for them to channel?
yeah, I don't know. And mentioning just that, like, certain islands, like, isles that, like, the land was, like, pale and, like,
Mhm.
talking about, like, the discoloration and how it wasn't that bright, and it's, like, the same thing when they're describing when, like, the Venom are taking the magic from, like, the
Mhm.
land back home. It's, like, that same kinda description of, like, the land turning gray and stuff like that, so and just obviously the fact that Xaden can channel and Violet Xaden could, like, had his signet and so did Violet,
Yeah.
on those aisles. It's like, "What?"
Yeah. It's just, like, a very like, I could easily see it Garrick being too, especially because he was like I think it was, like, one of the last things he said to Imogen. He was like, "Oh, like, if I transport again, like, I don't have enough strength to transport back." So it's like, "What the fuck?" Um, what the fuck? Like, where I just it's just heartbreaking because, yeah, you think, like, when Xaden and Violet did eventually get married, you thought it was gonna maybe be, like, a Hallmark moment, and it was something like, we didn't even get to we don't even know. We didn't even get to see it. It's like literally it wa it was like finding out Feyre was engaged to Tamlin and being like, "Wait, why didn't we get to see that? Why
Mhm.
didn't we get to like what the fuck is going on?" And then you find out what's happening. I'm not gonna put any spoilers out there. I don't think that maybe Feyre being engaged is a spoiler. Y'all just it's fine. It's don't worry, it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, the whole my reason I say this, it's like it's crazy, like, something when something big like that happens and the reader is not in it, it's like, "Okay, well, like, what the fuck?" That I just have so many questions. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, Onyx Storm was incredible. It was a five-star read. I can't believe now we'll probably be waiting years, for this next book. Because she's not
I
even writing it
know.
right now.
Yeah,
She's
isn't she
writing
taking, like, a
something
break?
else.
She's, like,
Yeah.
taking a break from
As
it
she
now. Yeah.
should, as she should, and I'm so tired, this is gonna be a change of subject. I'm so tired of the other girlies, like, May 5th rolled around, everyone's like, "Where was the announcement? Where was the announcement?" Then, like, I'm seeing it next, "Where is the announcement?" I'm sorry. Y'all shut the fuck up. Just stop. Stop theorizing that there's going to be an announcement for ACOTAR 6. Just stop. The Swifties know. I have officially stopped clowning about Reputation. When Reputation comes out, when that gets announced, I will be happy. I'm going to stop holding and twiddling my fucking thumbs and wasting my time and my brain power. So the Swifties should know. We should know better. So any of the Swifties that are still clowning about a fucking ACOTAR 6 announcement should stop, because we've been clowning for Reputation for years now and it
At least
hasn't
the
happened.
at least the Swifties, though, are a little bit, like, nicer and more joyful. They'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, whoops," because I know, like, May 26th is now the new one, and then, like, they come and go,
Ugh.
and they're like, "Oh, whoops," like, "No, it's not there." But, like, I feel like the Sarah J. Maas, you fans are ruthless. You're, like,
It's bad.
demanding, like, "What's wrong with you?" Or, like, there was the 10-year anniversary of ACOTAR, and you couldn't even come on Instagram to say anything, and it's just like, leave the woman alone.
Yeah, like,
Like,
shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she doesn't owe you anything. She's a fucking author.
no.
And, like, yeah, it
Right.
was a 10-year anniversary. Wow. Like, one, how amazing is that? Like, also, these books didn't even take off until, the fact that we're celebrating a 10 year is huge. But
Yeah.
yeah, she probably doesn't want to come on fucking Instagram and talk and give a talk about it, because you know what? She would have done that and y'all would have been like, "Oh, no ACOTAR 6 announcement? No ACOTAR 6 talk?" Like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she's an author. Also, she's with a publisher. Homegirl can't just go on her Instagram and just be like, "Oh yeah, like, time to announce." There's a social plan, you guys. Like, there's a launch plan. There's a whole team in place planning on when this shit is happening. And I am just so over date after date rolling around, because yeah, the Switzers are like, "Oops." But now it's like, I'm mad. Like, I have words for
Right.
Sarah J. Mass. Like, y'all, she
Right.
has no control of when this is announced. And
And just
we want this to be good. So let her write the fucking book. Let her
I
write the
know.
book, let her edit it 1,000 fucking times, and let it be fucking good. Because if anyone reads House of Flame and Shadow, you would know that, how we feel about that last book. You can go back to our first episode and be like, you know what? Maybe this needed another few rounds. Maybe this needed another few round of edits, okay? And let it be that. All
Yeah.
right. So let's just, it's a beloved series. Let's take a knee. Let's humble
And not
ourselves.
only that, people are so like, "Ugh, ACOTAR 6 better not be about Nesta. ACOTAR 6 better be about Elaine. Elaine better be with Az. Elaine better be with Lucian." And it's just like the clowning and the theories and like the posture in which like we are expecting the next book and like what happens in it. Again, like you said, but for a different reason, read House of Flame and Shadow because like if you don't read that, like, I'm sorry, you can't be in this conversation
Yeah.
about what's gonna happen next. But also, like, it's just it doesn't matter at this point, and I kinda feel really bad for her. Whatever she puts in, like, puts out into the world, people are gonna have a problem with it and are gonna be very vocal about it. And I'm sure that's really daunting for her too, because like you said, these just started trending and like within the last like 4 or 5 years and before she was able to write what she wanted in the story that she wanted, and if it were me, I would have a really hard time, like, maybe she needs to be off social media so she doesn't see all of the things so she can write the book she wants to and not be influenced by all of your opinions, right? Like, maybe
A
she like,
hundred
that's the only
percent.
way she can do this.
100%. Because
Ugh.
yeah, everyone has an opinion. And you know what? It makes me think of when we were growing up. Because I guess maybe because obviously when we were growing up, and I've read series in the past, obviously. I think we all have. We were all, Hunger Games girlies, Twilight girlies, okay? We Harry Potter girlies. We all started somewhere, okay? We all read a series, and I can't remember finishing one of those books and be like, "This better happen, and this better happen, and this better happen." I would finish the book. I'm like, "Wow, I can't wait to see what happens next and where this goes," and just being in awe and just like open to like, I don't know what the author was coming to give me. So like this weird, I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's like and just everyone feeling like they have access and like direct access to an author, where like back in the day we didn't have like it was us in the book. You know what I mean? And like we couldn't like tweet authors, we couldn't put theories online. Like
You know what they
maybe you
looked
could on
like.
Tumblr, maybe you could have a blog, but it was nothing like it is right now. And yeah, like if I was Sarah, I wouldn't be I couldn't be on social because yeah, I'm seeing everyone else and what they want. And just I mean, even for my own creative brain, like sometimes I have to be like, "Hey Meg, was that a book that you just read or is this actually something that you actually want to write?" You know what I mean? And like, "Oh, is this am I actually taking inspiration or like am I feeling like I need to do this trope because enemies to lovers is hot right now?" Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can only imagine because it's 1,000 times fucking worse and everyone's so fucking mean and cruel about it. And I'm seeing it not as crazy with the Onyx Storm, like fourth wing girl is like, I'm seeing the theories, but it's not as like cutthroat diehard. I think
Yeah.
because one, there's like really no love triangle situation happening. And two, like we're left with so many questions. Like so many questions. Like that it's almost kind of impossible to really like heavily theorize and like desperately want another book. Also, we just got Onyx Storm at this year. Like so like the
Mhm.
girls have been fed. It
Yeah.
has been a while for the girls in the ACOTAR world since they were fed. I can understand that. Her most recent release was Flame and Shadow last year, which, like, you know, guys, just saying, like, is pretty fucking like. So it's only been a year since she put out a book. So like, let's also relax too. Like, read some of her other shit. Like, I don't know. Like, read other authors. Like, I don't know, gain perspective. I don't know, go live your life, go touch grass, like go in the ocean. Like I don't fucking know. I feel like everyone needs healing right now because it's crazy to me that we're demanding like she's a human being. And also we want this to be good. So why are we trying to rush art and like
Mhm.
perfection? So like yeah, Rebecca, you can take your fucking time with
Yeah.
this next book because I and she can take a break. Yeah, I think she's writing another contemporary romance. I do want to have put some of her stuff on our TBR because I think that'd be really cool as like
I think so too.
a fun little thing that we do while we wait for the next book in the fourth wing universe. But like, yeah, like can we normalize authors like I don't know being human, taking a break? She's also a mother. She has children. She has a husband. Like can we just like I don't know let her announce it when like her when it's one ready and two the team of Bloomsbury is ready to announce the book. Like I she wouldn't have purposely not announced it if it wasn't ready. That's how I feel. So like clearly it's not ready yet.
Yeah.
So why are we getting mad about like I'm getting really mad. Shut up. Like literally you go write a best-selling series and see how you fucking feel. Like I'm sorry. Like oh wait, that's right. You can't. So like please shut the fuck up. That's how I want to leave this episode. I love and like yeah, do we want to like hate on our favorite authors? So like shut up. Like so
Yeah.
Rebecca, take your time. I
Take your
loved Onyx
time.
Storm. It was incredible. Write your contemporary romance, and I know you're going to come back and slay it and slay the day away. Sarah, take your
Agree.
time. Sorry, I wasn't expecting us to go there, but I really did. And like literally even when I see theories, anytime I see a theory on Onyx Storm or I just it's an immediate swipe. I immediately don't fucking care. I immediately don't want to know because you know what? Like I just feel like though like theorizing is fun. Don't get me wrong. Like we were clowning around in in Throne of Glass, but I also felt like it was different because it's a finished series. So like we were only able to clown for so long until like we it was a finished series, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And like
Mhm.
even here, like we're like, oh my God, is it this person? Is it this person? That's normal amounts of clowning, right? But like I also just feel like I wish we just left room. I want to leave room for the author to like have her own magic and like let us be surprised. I think that's the best part about reading and, like, reading this genre is, like, "Oh my god, we have no idea what the fuck is gonna happen. We have no idea what era we're about to go into." Like, she's married, she's low-key still in her 2nd year of this fucking college. Like, she hasn't even graduated. Like, she's not even close. She's still a year out from graduating, but
They're
now
still
she's such a
school.
like, yeah, it's like she's still going to school. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's like, does Bags Gaia still exist? Like, it's just crazy to me, and, like, we have no idea where it's going, and it's like, I feel like that's just, like, part of the magic. Like,
Yeah.
can we let ourselves be surprised? Can we let ourselves have the magic? Does it always have to be about clout? Because honestly, that's what all of this shit feels like to me when I see it online. Like, it just feels like clout chasing because everyone wants to talk about it and everyone has a theory about it, and, like, even some of the girls at the fucking bookstore, like, were, like, just trying to have, like, cute chats, and then I'm like, "I can't talk to you." Like, I can't talk to you. They're like, "Oh, you can never make me like Reese. Like, you can never make me like Reese." And I'm like, "Did we read the same fucking books? Like, get me the fuck out of here. What prison am I in? What
Yeah.
prison am I in?" That's how I feel. Like, get me like, what is going on?
I
Like,
was
oh, I saw a theory about, like, something about, like, the venin and, like, Riddick not bleeding when they were, like, had the knife thrown at him, and
Yes.
I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." It's like, maybe Riddick is venin and, like, he's just, like, so advanced. I'm like,
On page 124, paragraph 3, sentence 2, they use this word, which means that.
it's like, "Girl, shut up." Like, "Please go touch grass. Go do something." Like, Riddick is beloved. You can't no, he's not venin. And you know what? I can make an apology episode if that's the case. But, like, come on, like, it doesn't need to be this deep, and it doesn't need to be this intense. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, so can we just let the books be the books? That's why we also wanted to, like, make this podcast, like, not so plot heavy and, like, theory heavy because it's just, like, these are meant to be fun. Like, it was so much fun seeing Violet come into her power and, like, and also devastating when Andarno left and, like, going through that whole thing. When he washed her hair, reminded me of Throne of Glass. Uh, but anyway, um, it was just like it. It was really sweet. I really loved it. It did cause me to crash out because it's just like one of those cliffhanger endings, and yeah, we don't know when we're getting another one, but am
That's okay.
I am so excited. I'm so excited for whenever that comes, and now we're in our contemporary romance era. Our next
Mhm.
episode will be Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, and we'll
I'm
have so
so
much fun.
excited for that one.
Me too. Me too. It's gonna be a blast. We're in our Western era right now. Reading some Elsie Silver. We'll then get into probably, I think, the new Emily Henry after that
Mhm.
one. And then we'll see where the wind takes us in terms of our summer reads. So I do you have anything else to add? I feel like this is the end of the episode.
I think so. I
Look at us, an
think.
hour.
Whoa!
I'm so proud of
Making
us.
people stuck around too. They're like, "Not
I
for
know it's like,
that."
wow, not a 90-minute episode, not an almost 2-hour episode. Wow. Uh, proud of us.
Me
Sorry.
too.
You can continue. I just had to I had to call it out because it was good.
It was. Yeah. I really enjoyed talking about Onyx Storm today as well. I'm really excited for our summer of like contemporary romance and whatever else we decide to pick up. It'll feel good, especially like after that ending of Onyx Storm just being really crazy. I know I needed a little breaky break from fantasy. We'll definitely come back to it, but summer is that like beach ready type vibe. at least for me. And so I'm excited to it's been fun also to like be able to consume books really like fast,
Oh, yes. I
just like,
missed it.
oh
That
my
was the
God.
one thing I did miss. I'm like, "Okay, she's back. She is so back." I'm like, "Oh my god, look at me, 4 books this month already." I'm like, compared to,
Right.
like, literally one like, February was just Iron Flame. I'm like, "Ooh, we are slowly but surely, moving
Yeah.
along, moving through." So, it feels good.
Yeah. It's just like lightheart a little bit more like lighthearted too, and just I don't know, romantic, if you will. So it'll be
Yes.
a fun summer for the pod.
Yes, it will. And we will touch fantasy again, but we are also like we love a good palate cleanser. We love a good especially when something that is that intense. I feel like we just needed a little moment. I mean, Quicksilver I think is our next like true fantasy read in September. So that'll be exciting. That'll be on our book trip. But yeah, so we're going to be in our one-off moment. I'm excited. It's gonna be so great. I already feel, like, refreshed, and, like, maybe we'll touch something before we get to that. We'll see. We'll
Mhm.
see. You
Yeah.
know? I think we wanna get into some Song of Achilles, which isn't fantasy, but, like, you know, a little bit of Greek mythology, a little bit of
Mhm.
magical realism, um, all that good stuff. It'll be so fun. But, yeah, so we'll touch fantasy again, but we're gonna be in our contemporary romance era for a minute. Um this was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, share, all the things. Tell us what you think. Like, what were your favorite parts? What when was your jaw on the floor? Like, did we also love the chair scene? Like, just give us all the things. Who do you think is the next brother Venom? Like,
Yeah.
what happened in those 12 hours? Like, I'm fine to theorize a clown when it's this. When it's on social, I don't know why I feel so differently. Um, I think it's just because it's just too many people, and I don't know what's real and what like you know what I mean. Like I don't want to get attached to a theory, and then it obviously doesn't fucking
Right. Like,
happen. You know
what's a
what I mean?
valid theory? What's a valid
Yeah.
theory?
Right.
And then what is, like, just something made up to, like, get
Yeah.
clicks.
Thank you. Thank you for putting that into really great words. And yeah, I promise I'm not this mean. I did get a little fired up. It is Gemini season, and I'm a Gemini moon, so we're about to get crazy. We're about to get crazy, but it's very exciting. Okay. I love you guys so much. Until next time, we'll talk soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.